Hello, everybody. Tate Davis here with another concert review for you. So you can see the shirt here. Blue Oyster Cult. I had the privilege of seeing Blue Oyster Cult with my mother last night, October 12th, 2019, at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, Illinois. About 45 minutes from my hometown of Crystal Lake. A great show, and I feel like telling you about it. But yeah, it was a great show, a great night full of music. You know, Buck Dharma and Eric Bloom singing and playing as great as ever. They sound their voices haven't really aged a bit, and they're still belting them out pretty well. Or very well, rather, I should say. So, beforehand, my mom and I went to a little bar and grill place about 2 blocks down the road from St. Charles, or from the theater in St. Charles, called The Office. Wonderful food. I had a burger, the St. Charles burger they called it, with white cheddar cheese, and I got it rare and got some fries with it. It was a great burger, 10-ounce burger, and great company with my mom, and we had a great meal, and had some great vanilla ice cream there. They gave me extra whipped cream, which made me very happy, and I love vanilla ice cream. So after that, my mom and I should actually mention, before dinner, my mom and I actually went down to the box office, and that's actually the first time I've ever gone to a show where I've actually gone to the venue box office and gotten the ticket stubs right then and there, you know. Little doing it the old-fashioned way of how people back in the day would go get ticket stubs. I think if I remember correctly, there were a couple of different ways you could do it. You could go down to the venue box office and get the tickets. You could mail in an application from a newspaper. You could win them on the radio. You could go to the Ticketron outlet or something like that. I obviously wasn't alive at that time, so you guys can tell me your ways of obtaining tickets before the wonderful internet. But in either case, had a great meal at the Office Bar and Grill, and we walked into the venue feeling very, very happy and looking forward to the show after a great meal. So about 8 o'clock on the dot, or maybe a little bit after, 8:03, something like that, the opening band, Gorilla Social, a band called Gorilla Social, a local band, came on and played maybe about 8 or 9 songs, and they were very good. I enjoyed them a lot. Their drummer was really good. Their lead singer looked a lot like Adam Duritz from Counting Crows, and I made a joke that I described them as a Counting Crows tribute band without the covers. But lucky for me, I like Counting Crows quite a bit, so they were fun to watch. Their drummer was really good, doing all sorts of 30-second note and 5-stroke roll type things on the hi-hat and his grooves, and his drums sounded great. He had like a pearl kit with like a blue sparkle finish. I'm not much of a pearl expert, but his drums looked and sounded really good. He had 2 guitar players, a really great bass player with a really cool pedal board, and the guy had a good voice. And yeah, Gorilla Social. I looked them up on Spotify and checked out a couple of their tunes. They're a good band. And a little unusual maybe for opening up for the likes of Blue Oyster Cult, but nonetheless, they were really good. So they're done maybe about 9, a little bit after 9, and then about 9:15, stage goes dark. The Game of Thrones theme starts to play. On walks Eric Bloom, Buck Dharma, Rich Castellano, Danny Miranda, and Jules Radino. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. And immediately, they open up with Dr. Music off the Mirrors album. Great way to open up the set. I love that song. I love the Mirrors album. Had my attention from song number 1 there, and then after that, and keep in mind, I don't have the set list in front of me. I'm just going off what I remember in order. So some of the songs may be out of order. I remember they after that, I believe they played the Golden Age of Leather, which I believe is from the not the Spectres album. See, it's either from Secret Treaties or Spectres. I'm not. See, the thing here's my thing with Blue Oyster Cult. I love them, I do, but the albums that I go to when I listen to them are typically Mirrors, Cultosaurus Erectus, and Fire of Unknown Origin. Those are I think those are probably my three favorite BOC albums. And I don't go to the earlier ones quite as much. I still like those quite a bit. I love the debut and Tyranny of Mutation and Secret Treaties. But I just for some reason don't go to those quite a bit or quite as much. So a lot of the times I forget which one of the deeper album cuts is on which album. But I think the Golden Age of Leather might be on Secret Treaties. And then after that they what did they play after that? They did ME 262, which is from Secret Treaties, and that sounded really good. They did The Vigil from the Mirrors album, which is awesome, which sounded really good. They did Harvest Moon, which was really good. That's kind of an earlier track from theirs, and that sounded really good. Eric Bloom, before they played that song, said to the audience, "All right, we give you a choice. We could either play The Shooting Shark or Harvest Moon," and I was actually glad they ended up playing Harvest Moon. I ended up shouting Shooting Shark because I haven't heard that song in a while, and I don't think they've played it live for a long time. But and there are a good number of people, at least in my section, that wanted to hear Shooting Shark. But they played Harvest Moon, and that was really good. That sounded awesome. ETI, probably one of the highlights of the night. That was awesome. Bucks Boogie. Bucks Boogie was probably one of my favorite songs of the night. Great, lots of great guitar fun, like a really fun instrumental, and just lots of great guitar soloing by Buck Dharma there. Whew! It was just awesome. Then, I also forgot to mention about I think the third or fourth song they played was Burnin' For You. Obviously, my mom loves that song and sang every word of it. That was really cool. And then came the last days of May, which was an even longer showcase for Buck Dharma and Richie Castellano, which sizzled. That was a huge highlight of the night there. And then, eventually, there were a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people shouting, "Godzilla! Godzilla!" I didn't shout that, but Godzilla is one of my favorite Blue Oyster Cult songs. I know it's one of their most well-known songs, but I just absolutely adore Godzilla. And sure enough, they had the pre-programmed intro there of Godzilla roaring and destroying buildings and stuff like that, and they just launched into this awesome version of Godzilla that had everybody in the crowd singing along, "Go, go, Godzilla!" including myself. Man, that was probably the best song of the night, in my opinion, or at least one of my favorite songs of the night. And then before that, I should actually say, they reached into the Blue Oyster Cult in recent years has had kind of a thing where they'd just pick in like little nuggets for the diehards. You know, they play most of the mandatory stuff that any casual fan might want to hear, but you know, they like to reach into their catalog and pull out little nuggets for the diehard fans. And in this particular case, it was Screams and She's as Beautiful as a Foot, two songs that in track order for their off of their self-titled debut album from '72, and that was really cool to hear. She's as Beautiful as a Foot had people in the crowd singing along. Kind of a silly tune, but Richie Castellano sang the lead vocal on Screams, which I think was originally sang by Joe Bouchard on the original album, which was really cool. And then, obviously, what did they play at the end? Don't Fear the Reaper, and that had everybody dancing about, and Eric Bloom at the beginning of the song had like an imaginary cowbell that he played, and that was really funny to see. And after that, my mom left as they were doing the extended trash can ending to Don't Fear the Reaper. But overall, a very, very great night of music, an outstanding set by Blue Oyster Cult. Would I go see them again? Absolutely. If you have not seen them on this tour, you need to go. It wasn't a sold-out show. It was maybe about 75% full at the Arcada, but well worth it. There were only maybe about 20 or 25 people that were my age, or a little bit older, 21 to 25. I'm 21, but there were a lot of songs that my mom didn't know, and my mom is not a big fan of like extended guitar solos, but Buck Dharma was on fire that night. He really was. Eric Bloom sounds as potent as ever singing. Richie Castellan was a very, very talented guitarist and pianist and vocalist. Danny Miranda's a great bass player. Jules Bordino is a solid drummer. And yeah, it was just a great night of music, and I will definitely go see them again should they come to a town near me where I happen to be in. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this concert review of my Blue Oyster Cult experience last night, and we'll see you guys later on for more videos. Take care.